Revealed at the most recent Nintendo Direct, Herdling immediately caught people's attention with its striking visuals and mysterious concept. The trailer showed players guiding a herd of fantastical creatures across a vast, almost dreamlike landscape, but offered little explanation of what that journey would mean. That sense of intrigue carries through into the full release, where Herdling trades traditional storytelling for atmosphere, interpretation, and emotional weight. What's it like? Put on some warm clothes, grab a stick, and follow the herd as we review Herdling for Nintendo Switch. Herdling simply tasks you with herding a group of calicorns, which are a sheep and yak hybrid animal, and they need your help getting out of the city and leading them to the top of a mysterious mountain. You do this by simply walking behind them and herding them with your stick, moving in the opposite direction of where you want them to go to steer the herd from behind. You'll also be able to encourage your herd to run through fields, slowly creep past predators, and even use some mystical powers to paint pictures and solve puzzles. Herdling doesn't really have a narrative, so to speak, but bear with me, because I feel like the lack of any official narrative is intentional and therefore makes Herdling's story up to interpretation. Instead of spoken words and objectives, the narrative is pushed forward with world building and a sense of progression through your journey. I read a few theories about what the story or purpose of the game was online, and some people think that it was a journey of grief, others said they feel like it was finding purpose, and personally, I felt like it was almost telling the story of someone passing away. I don't think any of these answers are wrong, and I think that that's something that makes Herdling such a unique and wonderful experience for the most part, as it's left to you to interpret and most likely connect to what you're actually going through in life. Graphically, Herdling aims for a lush, minimalist vibe, and at times it felt like the graphics engine was mimicking Disco Elysium, with an intentional low-poly look while also filling out details with lush vegetation, vibrant colours, and varied environments. Each area had something new to offer, whether carefully navigating through a rail yard to avoid dangerous debris, or hiking your way up snow-capped peaks while huddled together to shelter from the wind. You'll never stay in one place for too long, and that keeps your adventure rolling. What really makes the journey so special though is the outstanding sound design and stellar orchestral score. The game expertly builds both tension and moments of elation by suddenly going deathly quiet while trying to sneak through raptor nests, and then jolting the player with a sudden jolt of a violin, and other times there's a celebration of strings and woodwinds as you freely run through the field with your calicorns. It's both daunting and beautiful, and it helps draw the player into this world. Unfortunately, this journey stumbles with woeful performance issues on both the Switch 1 and 2. On the Switch 1, the game runs at about 30 frames per second and occasionally slows and stutters. In handheld mode, it's a lower resolution, so it does look pixelated. On Switch 2, the game runs at 60 FPS, but janks and stutters as you progress through the landscape. These issues appear to be something similar to a memory leak that we've seen in games like XCOM or Disco Elysium, as resting or exiting the game seems to temporarily fix the performance. But by the time I'd reached my final destination, the performance had really tarnished what is an otherwise beautiful and moving journey. And it's such a shame that that performance regularly pulls you out of the game, because when it has you in its grip, it really has you. I have no doubt that we'll see further optimization patches in the future, and I'm looking forward to revisiting this one when they do. At $37 Australian, Herdling on Nintendo Switch can be a tough sell on a few fronts. The first is the aforementioned performance issues, and the second is the length. I managed to roll the credits in just 2.5 hours, which makes it one of the shorter indie titles I've played this year. For me, Herdling was an engrossing experience, the kind of game that pulled me in quickly and just held my intentions until the credits roll, so much so I did it in one sitting. But I know a lot of players will look at that playtime and feel shortchanged, and there's no real incentive to replay it once you've seen everything. So for a lot of people, it's going to be a one and done kind of experience. And it's a kind of game where you'll either see the price as fair for the experience and creativity, or you'll walk away wishing there was just more of it. For my shepherds looking into accessibility, I'm pleased to report that Herdling has a few options to make your time with the herd a bit more enjoyable. From toggling or holding run buttons, auto walking, making your calicorns immortal, and removing the HUD. These options will allow players of all abilities to experience the game. But as always, I recommend further research to see if Herdling is for you. Now, speaking of which, Herdling just won't be for everyone. But for those willing to embrace it, it's a game that lingers well beyond its short runtime. Its beauty lies not in a clearly defined story, but in the space it gives you to project your own meaning to the journey. Whether you see it as a reflection on grief, a search for purpose, or simply a fleeting adventure through a strange and beautiful world, Herdling will resonate differently for everyone who picks it up. For me, like I said, it felt like a quiet reflection on passing, and despite its performance issues and brief length, I found the experience deeply moving. It's a flawed game, but it's also a rare one, because it makes you stop, think, and feel in ways that few titles attempt. It may not be perfect, but Herdling is the kind of game that makes your journey matter more than the destination. So, what's it like? Herdling is like the PS3 game Flower, crossed with Journey. I award it a 72 out of 100. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out what'sitlike.com.au.